My name is Vartan Manukian and I'm a practicing paralegal in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. If you're new to my channel, thank you for joining and don't forget to hit the subscribe button below. This is part 2 in the video series, To Talk or Not to Talk. What do you do when you're stopped by a police officer while driving? In the last video, we left at the point where the officer told you that you're being videotaped and the thought went through your mind whether you should talk to the officer or not. Know that when an officer tells you you're being videotaped, you're not exactly auditioning for America's Got Talent, and neither is Simon Cowell going to hit the golden buzzer for you. When stopped by a police officer, most people are in a state of shock and are not thinking clearly. And I would think that might include you as well. Under Ontario's Highway Traffic Act, a police officer can stop without cause to make sure that you are properly licensed, have valid automobile insurance, verify the ownership and mechanical fitness of your vehicle as well as sobriety. All you have to do is identify yourself. That's it. When identifying yourself, you have to be truthful. Otherwise, you may be arrested and face a traffic ticket or worse, a criminal code charge. I'm told by many police officers that 95% of the public lack the discipline not to say anything when stopped. The question is, why are you so anxious to tell your side of the story? After having been in practice for over 20 years and represented thousands of clients, some of the reasons include guilt, fear, a false sense of power or persuasion over the officer, the thought that if you're honest, the officer is going to let me go or give me a warning. Really, you're not playing Monopoly at the roadside, and you certainly are not going to be getting a get-out-of-jail-free card. For you, the takeaway from this is stop explaining yourself right now. Under Canadian law, you have the right to remain silent whether you're being investigated for a traffic ticket or a criminal code offense. At trial, the issue is not your guilt or innocence, rather, whether the prosecution can prove the charge against you beyond a reasonable doubt. In this process, the prosecution will rely on the testimony of the officer, perhaps some other witnesses, as well as what, if anything, you said when you were stopped. Note that at trial, the presiding judge cannot make a negative inference at the fact that you decided not to speak to the officer when stopped. When an officer stops you while driving, you are detained. The police officer effectively takes control over you and tries to elicit incriminating information. Although an officer may be respectful, the interaction between you and the officer is inherently intimidating. There is a power imbalance between you and the officer, and the consequences of this power imbalance is made worse by your inexperience, lack of knowledge, and fear of the unknown. For you, the takeaway from this is stop explaining yourself right now. Laws are necessary for the orderly functioning of society. However, the enforcement of laws must strike a balance between investigation on one hand and protecting you against the jeopardy from the use of information obtained against you. When you're finally ticketed and drive away, hopefully you will have the good judgment to retain a paralegal. Just imagine how much easier it will be to defend you if you did not talk to the officer at the roadside. However, all is not lost. If you have said something that's not in your interest, your paralegal may, in some cases, exclude it from being used in court. I want to be clear that the purpose of this video is not to encourage non-cooperation with the police. Rather, it is intended to promote your rights, those rights that we cherish so much, that we've worked so hard to achieve over the last few decades, only to see that they're being gradually taken away from us. Silence is golden. The government is not your friend. When pulled over, have the confidence to say nothing. It may help you immensely should you decide to mount a defense. If you like the contents of this video, please click on the like button and I look forward to receive your comments.